Hello, I am KTV Entertainment Ken Mations here, and today we are going to be doing another video. And today's special movie anniversary video, we are going to talk about the Oscar Academy Award winning Pixar movie for Best Animated Feature of 2015. It involves these emotion characters such as joy, sadness, anger, disgust, and fear. You can't all forget fear. And that Disney Pixar movie is Inside Out. Here's the front, spine, and back. So, Disney Pixar's Inside Out is about Riley being born, her growing up, getting used to her all emotions, but then one day when she was 11 years old, she moved from her place in Minnesota all the way to San Francisco. And when they got to the house, it was all empty inside, and the moving van went to Texas and never got their stuff. So when they end up having pizza, Riley doesn't really like broccoli. It happened to her when she was younger when she refused to eat her broccoli, even when she ended up seeing the broccoli pizza and didn't like it at all. Later, the next day, Riley went to school, and then sadness touches the memory, and she ends up making the core memory blue. After Joy told sadness not to mess with the memories that Joy has, because Joy's in charge of keeping Riley happy, but sadness ended up messing it up, and both sadness and Joy went into long-term memory. They went through the maze until they met Bing Bong. She ends up losing her islands of personality, and then she ends up having sad emotional stuff like quitting hockey after her first practice went really bad and horrible. Other things that happened is when they went to preschool world, and then after that, there was that graham cracker scene that was so similar to Cloud of a Chance of Meatballs, with the graham cracker being torn down, and all of Riley's childhood favorites end up going into the memory dump. And sadness says the one sad thing to Bing Bong: they took something that you love, and now it's gone forever. She kept losing her islands. And there's this one scene where they end up going through that room that they were not supposed to. They end up being two-dimensional and almost figurative, and then they end up missing the train after that. Later, they end up going to dream productions of where Joy told sadness to wake up Riley happy, but then she ended up scaring her, waking her up. And another scene, not only she lost goofball, hockey, and friendship when she shut her computer off saying gotta go, she also loses the honesty by stealing her mother's credit card and taking the train back to San Francisco. And then she was about to lose family, and then anger, disgust, and fear were on the verge of losing Riley, and it was turning black, saying, "What have we done?" There was also scenes like Riley telling her parents to shut up when anger, disgust, and fear were the only ones controlling Riley, and she got sent to a room. And then there was the other sad parts, like when Joy went to the memory dump with Bing Bong. Joy ended up using the rocket to get back up to where the long-term memory is. Then Bing Bong faded and turned into a ghost sadly. And that part really made me feel sad, especially with Joy crying looking at all the memories. When Sadness and Joy came to the rescue, Sadness ends up holding the memories with Riley getting off the bus and running home. And it's the most saddest part that I ever felt sad when I first saw that scene in the theater and when I watched it on DVD and Blu-ray. So, after hugging the family, which is Riley's parents, she starts back up with the hockey again, officially being 12 years old, and then ends up meeting the boy named Jordan, which ends up later being shown in Riley's first date. They end up saying "Go Foghorns," and then end up having a happy ending with Joy saying, "Riley's 12 now. What could happen?" And then the first part of the credits ends up showing all the characters, including the teacher, cat, and bus driver, and other people with the emotions right before it went to the main credits. And so yeah, that's Inside Out. So what do I think of this movie? Well, it's an emotional masterpiece from start to finish. And it's definitely one of Pixar's best successful movies of the 2010s. Michael Ganando did a great job at composing the music to this movie. Amy Poehler did as decent as Joy. So yeah. And then they also made a sequel that came out last year called Inside Out 2, which includes the emotion anxiety, and including the little kid's cartoon character named Bluefy. Which Inside Out 2, like I mentioned last year, is for another video. Inside Out, the first Inside Out definitely deserves a 5 out of 5 stars. It definitely shows mental health struggles and having feelings that show all the feelings. Even when you move to a new place and you're not used to it. But then there's the challenge of getting to that sort of position that you're in when you are on that bumpy road. This right here is a fan-made VHS of Inside Out they made back in 2018. Even though that tape is fan-made, it's a very cool VHS. See, here is a fan-made tape for Inside Out. And the homemade print date for January 20th, 98, even though Inside Out did not come out until 2015. So yeah, without being said, happy 10th anniversary to Disney Pixar's Inside Out. And this is Kenny Brock here, and see you in the next video. Bye.